Yeah, like when you said Brian Laundrie or whatever,
Yeah.
no idea what that means. I
Really?
just don't pay attention to anything anymore.
Thank you.
He didn't either.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's be dumb, dude.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Average AF podcast. I'm your host, Adam McElroy, always joined by Mr. Ryan Baker.
What up?
And we got some special guests in-house tonight, the Palmer Squares.
Yeah.
What the frick? What the frick is up?
Appreciate you guys coming through.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. We are also watching the UFC event, UFC 267. So if me and Term don't talk much, that's why.
I can multitask.
Can you?
We'll
Yes.
find out.
Okay.
We will find out.
We will find out. But you guys just came off a tour with Spose.
With Jarv,
with
Spose was
Jarv.
part of a couple of
Okay.
shows.
I suppose he was involved
Oh my
in one
God.
thing. He came out
Dude.
to another show.
Fuck
That's
you.
what I'm talking about.
Multitasking.
Hell yes.
Like crazy.
He, yeah, he was just on the first show. First show he headlined in Boston. Then we did Portsmouth, Sanford.
Yes, he was in Sanford too. I guess that's like basically his hometown. And
Right.
Oh, okay.
We don't frequent Maine very often
Right.
on the road, so
Right.
that was rare. He came out, did his song with Jarv, and just kind of hung. And shout
yeah.
out Cam Groves too.
Yep.
8
Yep.
shows, 4 states.
Yeah, I guess so. We kept bopping between Massachusetts, New Hampshire,
Nice.
Maine.
Right. We did
Rhode Island,
those
I
3
guess.
states each twice, but never the same state 2 nights in a row.
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
that sounds
Dang.
confusing.
Well, that's more of a pain in the ass on the West Coast. Like if you
Yeah.
have to
Right.
play somewhere in California, like
Any-
a giant state,
Any
and then
other
go to-
region, and I would complain a lot more, but
yeah,
the
Boston,
Northeast, it's like 2-hour drive.
Boston
Yeah,
to New York,
nothing
no
bad.
problem. Fucking to Philly or Providence from there, no problem.
Right.
But yeah, it was a fun little run, and I don't know, it was mostly highlights.
Yeah. No crazy tour managers on this one.
No tour managers whatsoever.
Okay.
The way I like it.
Well, you
Get
guys,
out of my life.
So you guys were talking about that on the last episode. You guys have a podcast called TPS Reports.
That we do.
It's awesome. But yeah, like you were talking about the tour manager and everything, and I'm like, in my head, like I kind of don't understand what they're there for.
They're
like
I would say.
but I'm also an idiot. So
Well, we've had tour managers in the past for admittedly much larger tours.
Well,
Like we
right,
just did
right,
8
right.
shows in a row. It's been a while because of COVID and shit.
Right.
But like we haven't done 8 nights, like a show every night
8
in,
crazy nights.
in a couple of years. It's been at least 2 years. I don't even know if there was 8 shows in a row on the the tour with Stevie. I think we had
Right.
more off days. Play 4, night off, 4
Right.
more, something like that. So
Usually you want, within a week, like 1 off day is nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
So yeah, by the 8th show, I also like caught a little cold a week ago that I'm getting over
Right.
now. I'm over it, I think now, but it was like, the second half was a little more of a struggle. Just like having to monitor my voice, drink
Right.
hot teas instead of
Right.
like the coffee I'd rather
Right.
have. Mainly like I'd hang out in the van. The last night, which was, we'll get into it. I fucking like hung out in the van for much of the night, just like alone because I'm like, I know this routine. Like when I'm sick, when my throat's unprotected, or like
Right.
people want to talk to you. We're just hanging out. We're not
Right.
we're not like in a killing time in the hotel or the
Right,
fucking
right.
VIP green room. We're just hanging out, and I like talking to fans. But like I've learned the hard way, I can't do that when I'm feeling under the weather because I will
Yeah.
I'll throw my voice out before the
Yep.
show because you're talking over the other acts
Oh,
or
shit.
the DJ or whatever. Multitask fixing that.
There you go.
Got it in the hole.
But yeah, it was just like it was just kind of a pain in the neck to
Right.
like remove myself from the shit we're out here to do a little bit
Right,
because
right.
I can't do the FaceTime with the fans as well the last half
Right.
of the shows, and
Right.
it's just like, hey, so how's the tour been? Hey, it's good, it's really, and like I
Right,
can
right,
feel
right,
myself
right.
losing my voice. I'm like, I gotta
Right.
save this for the fucking
Right.
set. So.
That's just something that you would never think about as like a casual like us. Like
Right.
you got to kind of take days off from talking. Like
Well,
what goes on
kinda.
after the shows and stuff, like behind
Yeah.
the scenes. And
Yeah.
Well, after the shows is also just a series of terrible decision making. It's like
Right,
it's just
true.
like I shouldn't stay up and drink the leftover
Every
beers
day
for 3
it's,
hours.
Right.
Tonight we're not gonna hang out for 2 hours outside the venue and watch Jarv play skate with fans
And
while
then
we
little,
smoke their weed.
little do we
Right.
know, joke's on us, because
Right.
every night we're
You do
standing
it.
in the rain, hanging out. But no, it was a super fun time. It's always just like kind of a bummer to fucking, have something like, I don't want to say like take you out of it, but like
Right.
mentally, none of the fans were like, man, your voice sounded scratchy.
Right.
Every night, no matter how bad I think I performed or my voice was bothering me, it was like, crushed it. You guys
Right.
are amazing, and that's fucking awesome.
Right.
Meanwhile, like they don't really realize I'm like sneaking to the bathroom next to the stage
Right.
5 times during the show to like,
Right.
like get some shit out of my head.
Right.
What are like beer goggles for the ears?
Ear goggles. Oh, that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Damn, son. But yeah, I've been a fan of you guys.
I knew
forever.
nobody else would give me
Made no
shit, so I had
sense.
to root for myself.
Dude, this guy is all about dad
I
jokes.
love him, man.
We
I love
actually literally just yesterday launched new merch
Beering aids.
that I like.
Shut
Way
up.
better.
I like it.
Way
I like
better.
it.
I like
yeah,
it.
10 minutes late.
No, we just
Timing
launched.
is
That
everything.
took some
Went to
thought.
commercial. I was able to think.
There you go. We just launched merch with his face on it.
Yeah.
And it says King Baker, Lord of the Dad Joke.
Hell
And
yeah.
I like put him in like a throne and shit. Like it's the dumbest shit ever.
Give me a good dad joke. What's a
Have you
top
been
tier?
fed any this week?
Have I?
Tease was
I
dropping
know.
something. I don't
the
remember
second
him.
you said it, I was like, "What the fuck did
We
you
were
say?"
just with
man?
somebody
Well, I mean,
who
I had to
fired
take
off a
I
bunch
had
of good
to
ones.
take a break from the dad jokes, and
Oh,
I got
he
into
said,
I got into faucets for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, let that sink in.
Yeah, I saw it
fucking
coming.
hate you. So dumb, dude.
Our buddy
I
the
hate
other
him.
night told a good one. He said, "What's red and smells like blue paint?" Red paint.
Red paint.
I
Yes,
like it. I like
yes.
it. But yeah, I've been a fan of you guys forever. For like
Since I was born.
since the first thing I ever saw you guys in was the Duke Westlake Cipher.
Yeah, I think we
Like-
played that on a show or two of this run.
Hell
Yes,
yeah.
we did.
Got a lot of stuff in our little
Yeah.
heat pad.
But that was
That's
what
one of those
like
where like my verse is approaching, and in my head I'm like,
Oh boy.
"What is my verse?"
right.
But then muscle memory kicks in, and he says the last word of his verse, and my brain's like,
It's crazy.
Torches burn bright.
Another thing the fans will never know is like how close to dropping the entire song we
Right.
got to be like, what is my? Oh, there it is.
Right,
Like,
right,
I
right.
needed to hear him finish his verse to know how to start mine.
Well, that one's what? That has to be at least 10 years old now or so, right?
close to it probably. Yeah.
That's
"We're
insane.
getting there."
But that's actually how I found you guys. I was big into like Dumbfounded, Spose back then, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things like that. So
That
I
little
think
YouTube cipher
yeah,
scene.
yeah, and that's how I stumbled upon you guys. And like, dude, okay, gonna be honest with you guys. There was in the Duke Westlake cipher, I found it and I would show like all my buddies, and I was like, okay, these guys don't look like they should rap, but they're really fucking
No,
good.
especially in that video. I hate that
You-
video. My
dude, you
dumb,
look-
chubby baby face
Right.
with my stupid everything.
Yep.
You were really feeling the beat too. You're like
Right.
rocking like.
I look 12.
I love it though. I love it though.
You look like that apparently grown man hanging out at the
Hezbollah.
UFC fight.
Oh yeah, Hasbullah's at the fights too. But yeah, it's kind of cool to link up with you guys. We actually got kind of a lot in common, which is cool. UFC, skateboarding. I don't know. Do you skate at all?
Well, I'm
Got
known
the
to.
stick on
Oh
him.
yeah.
I keep my thing on me. You know what I'm saying?
These
Got it
videos
all.
are epic, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I'm known to do a couple of things, but not on my feet. So.
Now I don't want to be insulting, but those like aren't tech decks, right?
No.
There's like a level above
No,
tech
no, no,
decks.
no, no, no.
Dude, I don't know anything about this. I knew they're not tech decks.
They're glorified tech decks. They're
Well,
finger
right.
skateboards,
Right.
but like, yes, not the brand name of
Right.
tech deck. Apparently, you grow up, and when you should have like left these childish habits behind,
Right.
you just learn that they make them out of real wood.
Oh,
and you can
shit.
like you can order them online, order parts.
Damn. Get
the fancy
I order
ones.
parts. I get extra bushings
You got
for the
you
road.
got independent
Hell
trucks
yeah.
on there.
I don't know. I don't know if like the real skate companies have branched out into. They
Dude,
should.
they
though,
should.
because I would get some indies.
That's awesome. That's
dope
awesome.
as
We
shit.
grew up skating. Term still skates here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
broke my ankle a couple months ago. I brought my board on this run, but I only whipped it out once or twice, and it still don't feel ready yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I got
Still a little pain.
I got
somewhere.
another podcast where we like travel around and just record kind of random places. And me and BJ went to the skate park in Akron and recorded there.
on.
But I fucking ate shit.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm really fucking fat now and I can't skate anymore. But I skated for like 7 years, and then I get on his board, which is like, what'd you call it, a cruiser board? Yeah. It's like not a long board, but not a regular, you know?
It's a little wider, and they got...
It's a mid-range
They got like big wheels that can absorb a pebble.
Right.
So you don't have to look at the ground while you hold the camera.
Yeah. So that's what he's skating, and I'm
like a
used
filmer
to,
board.
you know, like toy machines and kind of things like that. So I get on it, and I'm trying to do like a kick flip, and there's no way because there's no concave or anything.
Yeah.
And I definitely ate shit.
Dude, I about ate shit trying to do it on my daughter's skateboard, trying to do an ollie.
You got like a Walmart, like Tony
Hell
Hawk
yeah,
board.
little Tony Hawk
Nash.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came over one day and he was like, "Man, first rule, no grip tape or grip can't get the
tape
grip
can't get wet, yeah.
And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, because it's
Because her
just sitting out
skateboard
in the
was
rain.
out there.
I'm like,
No,
dude,
yeah, it'll
I
get
was like, oh,
waterlogged
yeah.
and soggy.
Yeah.
It'll lose its pop.
Because I snowboarded and I didn't
Right.
skateboard.
right.
I tried to skateboard because I was like, I can snowboard. It's not.
It
the
goes
same.
the other way.
Yeah,
if you can
it goes
skate, you
vice
can
versa,
probably
for sure.
snowboard. But
After the Providence show last weekend, some fan kid sacrificed his board, which was like in good shape.
Yeah.
Because it was raining out, and Jarv was like, "I'll play skate with somebody in the rain, but like we got to use your board."
Yeah.
And then he busts out a good, and it's like, "No, don't fuck your shit
Right.
up."
It was like an Odd Future board.
Yeah. So this fan dude who was dropping way too many N bombs for being a skinny white
Wow.
kid sacrificed his board for the better good of the night.
wow, that's mixed emotions right there.
It's like I mean, first of all, he's just
They're
drunk. He's drunk.
non-malicious,
Yeah.
and also even if you
those
articulate,
are almost worse than pointing at a black guy to me. It's just
Right.
like to
Right.
think you are like,
Right.
you know, it's like, yo, what's up, yo, dude, and just like dropping
Yeah.
it in there, like that's how we communicate, and like,
and drunk to a point where like you give him a couple of the like.
I gave him
don't
none.
know why
The
you're
first
using
one he
that
dropped,
word
I'm
so
just
much.
like, well, take it easy. Like,
Yeah.
but he's hammered, so there is
Right.
I'm not about to have like a social moment with you. This is not
Right.
a learning moment, not when you're like blackout drunk.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, that doesn't happen too often.
Guy
But
doesn't remember that he closed out his tab. He's not gonna sit here and take
Right.
in like a whole social commentary.
Right.
no, so it just makes everybody uncomfortable, and then you ruin his skateboard as his penance.
Hey.
That's what he gets.
Yeah, that's on him. You guys have any other like crazy like fan stories? That one's not crazy, but like obviously there's probably some weird people
Like
that come out.
in total.
Yeah, just in general.
Oh man, this is like, yeah, I'm trying to think
Of
on this
course.
run, but it was a fairly, respectful, tame, supportive crowd.
We've had stalkers.
Yes.
Oh,
I had a guy
shit.
send me a video of him attempting to murder his father.
What?
I'll term asked for
my-
one, so could you send me that clip?
Was it
That's
on?
insane.
I don't ask
Cameo?
for nudes. I ask for snuff films.
Right.
For tips.
No,
I
it was a
asked for
guy
evidence.
clearly out of his mind, and he used to send me DMs every day, and I would look at them because they were entertaining. Because, like I said, he's out of his fucking mind,
Right.
and I could see within the weeks leading up to it, he was like on a even more rapid mental decline.
You
But
saw it coming.
Did you just feed into it?
we were on the road. Well, I did unknowingly, in that like we already know that if you look at someone's DMs, that they can see that you've seen
Right,
it and
right.
stuff.
Right,
So he
right.
sees every day that I'm seeing it. I didn't respond a whole lot, but I would screen cap all the time to show Matt.
Right.
And he had it set so you can. I guess I didn't know you could do this, but you can set Instagram so that if someone screen caps a DM, it tells you.
Well, that's not good.
In case you're sending like private pictures or
I was gonna
something.
say, I know like Snapchat can do that now, like if
Right.
you
Yeah.
screenshot it, but damn.
So he was getting those notifications all the time, and he was like, "Term is listening
working.
to what I have to
Right.
say."
He cares.
He was the type of guy who thought like lyrics in our songs were like meant for him, and that I was speaking to him subliminally.
We
through
were
our-
his catcher in the rye.
right,
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
and
Damn.
Do you ever worry that you would be complicit in something?
no,
I mean,
not really.
Yeah.
I have another thing for that, but anyway, the guy we were on a tour years ago, and it was like a daily thing at breakfast. I would be like, "I want to see what Gil's up to," and then I go to do that one day, and I thought he had sent me like an internet, like just some fight video of a guy getting kicked in the head or
Faces
whatever
of
on the
death.
ground.
Right.
But I'm listening to it, and he's going, "Fuck you, Dad. Fuck you." And
Oh,
I know his
shit.
voice because I've seen so many of his
Yeah,
videos. And I'm
right.
like, "That's Gil."
damn.
Like, holy shit.
Thankfully, his father is still with us, and I guess he was released recently from the facility that he was in for a couple
Wow.
years.
Yeah, he had
man.
some help, some treatment was
Do you know
involved.
this guy or just somebody over?
We've met.
Okay.
He opened for us once. In fact, he was
Oh.
supposed to open for us a couple weeks later, and before the police got to him, he changed his profile. I think it's still up. I'm not going to pull it up now, but it said something to the effect of was supposed to open for TPS and Cess Crew, but
shit.
am now in jail for almost killing my dad.
Why he put
Link
that in
in
his
bio.
bio?
Yeah.
He also posted a bunch of pictures of his bloody dad all over Instagram.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Subsequently were reported and taken down.
Unhinged.
That's like a beg for help.
That's more than that. I
That's way
think that's
more
a
than a
little
beg.
more than that.
But we had a guy recently hit me up and said that someone in his town, same town actually, and that somebody he knows, his girlfriend showed up dead recently. Showed up dead.
Yeah, she was knocking on the
She
door.
got mailed to her house.
What am I going for here?
Honey, I'm home.
Turned up dead. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Turned up. And everybody that knows this guy thinks he did it. And he's apparently a little wacky.
Is his name Brian?
We don't have
no
to get
idea.
into that.
Brian Laundrie.
I was trying to find a thing, or are his clothes dirty?
I don't know.
No, but this guy told me that everybody suspects this dude did it, and that apparently right before she was found dead, this guy tweeted one of my lyrics, which
Oh,
is, or not
shit.
tweeted, Facebooked one of my lyrics, which is, "The love that I attained became the bane of my existence." Which seems like a cryptic way to tell the internet that I just killed my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then she was found, and then he deleted the post.
Damn.
Sus.
That's fun.
So
you think you guys were part of his soundtrack?
maybe, but to the question about my...
At least Term was. I'm not involved in it. I don't know this man. He didn't tweet my lyrics once,
Right.
to my knowledge.
Plenty of people heard that song and didn't kill anybody, so
Right.
I don't feel I'm
Yet.
at fault here.
Yeah.
Crazy
That's
fans. I don't know. There was we've had fans a lot of times that just can't hold liquor, or they piss their pants, get tossed
Right.
out of a bar, shit like
Right.
that has
Watched a guy
happened.
pee his pants front row at one of our
That's
shows one
was
time.
fun. And
That's dedication.
Just
Is
standing
what I
there
call
peeing.
that.
this is
Just kept going.
totally not as
Nice.
this is not
I mean,
the
he was
same
gone
ballpark,
already.
but on this tour there were times, and I think the fucking COVID regulations that keep changing, there were people specifically that these two guys couldn't get into our Boston show because
Right.
they changed the policy last minute, and then they showed up at the last show we did, which was in Burlington, Vermont, and
Drove 3 hours.
drove 3 hours to make that one. But that one, another thing that they don't really announce online is sets in Boston, we were on stage at 8:30, and
Yeah.
in Burlington on the last night we were on stage at 12:30. So it's
Damn.
4 hours
Yeah.
apart. And these guys have a 3 hour drive home. They probably have work the next
Right.
day, so they couldn't even. Twice they got fucked out of seeing our set.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So it's
Damn.
Weren't there
weird
by the
things
time
like
we went
that
on.
happen. Excuse me, all the time. Where it's not some wild, crazy fan story, but it's a bummer for us. Where and there's not. It's completely out of our hands.
Right, right.
It's not. I can't say I'm
Right.
going on first tonight or something.
Right.
I
You
was
know?
saying yesterday, it's we're in this weird crevice of, I guess you would call it the music industry.
The underground scene.
But it's we have fans. We don't fucking sell out theaters. We don't have that many fans.
Not with
Right,
that
right.
But
attitude.
the fans we do have are the types of fans who are willing to drive 3 hours to
Right.
our show.
Yeah, you've got the dedicated.
but
like
they're
the
also
dedicated
not the
fans.
types of fans to be able to afford a hotel room for that show.
Well, yeah, they might have work the next day. They might have obligations.
Exactly.
Or,
We have working class fans,
Yeah.
but who are dedicated. And it really sucks that sometimes, because we don't know we're performing so late in a situation like that, those guys were let down twice.
Damn.
And we-
Back-to-back days, right?
No, it was
No,
the first show and the
first
last
one-
show.
Oh, okay.
8 days apart.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Damn.
Still though, that's.
But
that
that's
sucks.
also even
Super
before
whack.
COVID. There's things like that happen,
Right.
That are always just they kind of sour our mood in the end. Finding out oh wait, what did the bouncer say you couldn't?
Right.
They kicked
Right.
you out because you had a cartridge or a pen or something.
Right.
Weird shit where it's we just want all the fans that want to fucking see us to
Right.
get to be able to see us,
Right.
but set times, COVID regulations, and fucking
Right.
God knows what else in between. It's always a
Right.
bummer. It seems not every show, but more shows than you'd like. There are times when I wish they could get in there so we could have some fucked up story about them not holding their liquor well.
Right,
but it's
right.
almost more of a bummer that they just
They didn't
you
get
know,
the
they
chance
didn't
to
have-
piss their pants.
They didn't have the chance to ruin our set.
right, right. Well, yeah, me and my buddy Steve, we actually came out to Chicago. I don't even know how long ago this was. It was the Napalm release party.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh,
It's a
2016
good one to come out
maybe
Yeah.
2017.
And I think Chop Shop, is
yeah,
that right?
we just played there in September. That's where we had our With or Without It album
Okay.
release party, which was a
We
year
got
and
the
a half
vinyl
late.
right up there somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a great show.
It was awesome.
And we had our homies on bass and drums.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Napalm release. Yeah, that's definitely a memorable. Like, and that was like a full room. We don't always pack fucking
Right.
that many hundreds of people.
Dude,
know?
it was a lot. It was awesome. We
Yeah.
we just drove there on that Saturday. Showed up way early, like we do, and Rebel and Vanta Black
Yep.
and
Will,
Will all came out and was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" and like hung out a little while.
Hell yeah.
Because we were like, I mean, we're driving like 6 hours or
It's
something,
another-
so we're the first people.
It's another
there.
commonality at our shows is people arriving like an hour
Way
before
early.
doors.
Yeah,
with the
But
but
excitement.
it was like a restaurant though too. So we were
Yeah.
like, we'll just grab some grub.
There's stuff to
and-
do, but with our again, we appeal
working
to
class
drunks,
stiffs.
working class drunks.
Right.
And if our fans show up at 7 and we don't play till midnight, how many hours is that? That's 5 hours of just drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by the time we go on, all the openers got this great energy, and then we get all these like fucking half dead zombies.
Yep, they can't make it. They,
Well, yeah, he worked third shift at the time, so he got off work, met at my house, and then we drove there. So he slept a little bit, but
Yeah.
and then was up all night, and he was like falling asleep, like standing up and shit. And then Chad or Vanta Black, he invited us to like an after party you guys were going to or whatever. And we get there, and Steve just fucking conked out in the passenger seat. And I'm like, man, he's been up for like 20 some hours.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wake him up.
It's funny because that's another relatability to like myself and our fans was
Yeah.
I used to do that. I used to get there for a sound check and be like, let me get a shot and a beer. And it's like, I got 6 hours before I
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
perform.
Right.
I need to keep my head on
Right.
straight. So now it's like, there were plenty of shows on this tour where like, there is something weird about like, maybe it's just I'm an alcoholic. I don't know. But like, even if I haven't drank all day, it's like, I'm going to crack a beer for my set because like, I don't know, something about the having beer on my breath and
Right.
rapping makes it feel like right or
Right.
comfortable or whatever. So
sure.
it's like, even if I'm not getting drunk tonight, I will have a
Loosey-goosey.
beer for my set.
Right.
So there were a lot of, especially because I was feeling not so well, where it's
Right.
like, I wasn't really drinking, but then I
Right.
would have a beer or two for my set. And then like, whether I feel good or not, or I'm drinking or not, it's like getting on stage oftentimes like that. I don't know, like that kicks me into like feeling good or
Right.
something, or like seeing fans sing along, or just
Right.
me and him fucking around with the microphones, doing what we do. So there's times leading up to shows where it's like I don't feel good, or maybe I feel a little anxious or something because
Right.
I'm far away from home, and I just whatever it is, or I don't know if I know my words for that one. Whatever's going through your head, that's what's great about for all musicians, I'm sure,
Right.
but like just speaking personally, it's like that hour of set time we do. It's like I don't have to worry about what the fuck
Right.
paying that New York parking ticket we got last week or
Right.
any of that shit that's in my head about my to-do list or my anxieties or whatever.
Right.
It's nice to just get up there and fucking like
Yeah.
be in that zone,
Right.
which is like, again, back to, I keep saying, COVID and regulations, but like being locked at home for a year and a half, not
Right.
able to do that as much.
Right.
That's what makes me fucking anxious and depressed and feel shitty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that time to get out
Yeah.
and do what we do. So like, it's, I don't know, it means more than ever now to be able
Right.
to get back out and
For the
tour
most
a
part,
little bit.
even the bad shows,
Well-
that's like the best part of the job.
Dude, our show in fucking Burlington sucked.
I said for the most
Yeah.
part.
I'm not even, it's just
For the
like,
most part, even the bad shows are still the best part
sound
of the
was
job.
bad. We were tired.
Sometimes a bad show's just a
Crowd
bad
was
show.
fucking not even present. Just like
Yeah,
you
one
know,
of those.
talking. You
Everything
can,
just
you can
kinda
hear
hit.
everybody talking over us. The whole.
Right.
It's like why did I spend all day protecting my voice for this?
Right.
So then I just start getting all rowdy and screaming again.
No, but yeah, the first show we did in Boston was the first show in a second, and there's a long drive and this whole daily preparation. Our set was like 35, 40 minutes, and then by the time it's done, I don't know, there's this weird feeling of like, I can't believe that's my job. Like, that's what
Right.
the whole day
Yeah.
was building up to, was to go have fun with my best friend for 40 minutes
Right.
and rap songs that we
And we
wrote.
would have played 40 more if we were headlining that one,
Right.
or like to a crowd like we get in Boston, which is one of our big markets.
Right.
We want to give them. Sometimes it's like I get self-conscious about like, how long can these fans really take just two guys in a beat loop?
Right.
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 Songs like that. Because when there's a band on stage, your attention can shift, your focus,
Right.
all these different directions. And now make some noise for the drummer, drum solo, and all this stuff keeps
Right.
changing. It's like, all right, here's another beat, rap, chorus, another one, rap. So like, I used to be like, all right, I think like an hour is a max.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now it's like I just kind of want to play as long as there's
Right.
fans in the room, and as long as we can.
Right.
I'll
As
wait
long
for
as
the
they're
guy to give
still
us the light.
As long as they're still shouting out songs.
Yeah.
You just want to
Right.
keep on going.
Right.
Well, I
Hell
will
yeah.
say from a fan standpoint, at least from my standpoint, like I appreciate when you guys go forever, like however long you can. I've been to 2 of the shows, the one in Chicago and then one in like Toledo, I think, or something, a couple years ago.
Yeah, wait, was that a weird, like, was it like wrestling? Is it like, no, that must have been like 8 years
that was
ago.
Well-
Michigan.
No, I thought that was Toledo or some,
I
whatever.
don't know. It was
I
a
have
weird
no
spot.
clue.
That like, and I have a question about this too. Like, and I'm not gonna, put the person's name out there, but you were doing a show with somebody else,
Okay.
and it was just really interesting because it was their show, but you could tell like 90% of the people were there for you guys, and then when the headliner went on, it was just like. Nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
We've
how-
also been on the other side of that
Yeah.
coin
Yeah,
too,
we were
but
2 nights ago.
yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Well, I was gonna say, how's that like dynamic work in like the green room and stuff?
Well,
Does
it's like-
anybody take it personal?
It can be a little
No.
awkward.
I mean,
but
like
it's-
2 nights ago, we were in Jarv's home state. It was his
Well, that's
market,
fair.
a bunch
Yeah,
of his
yeah.
homies. We should have had the wherewithal to be like, hey, let's let Jarv close the show tonight.
yeah,
right.
The times that we've been in that other position, I don't feel like there was ever any animosity. I think the guys that we were on the road with had just as much knowledge of what it is as we do.
Right, as long as the fan, I'm like, look, if the fans came to see us and then they're not,
Not our fault.
It's like, yeah,
Right,
they might
right,
not,
right.
they might not hang out,
Draw more.
Right.
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 But still, it's like, it's only really awkward. We've told the story about this dude Swiggy, who we love, but like
Okay.
he would come in, but other fans besides him will like yell at the other acts, like the headliners and stuff. Like, let's say we already went on, we already opened, and thank you, good night. Next guy comes on, and our fan will be like, Palmer Squares. It's
Don't
like,
be
dude,
that
we're
guy.
done. You know,
Yeah.
like that. Now it's weird. Like now we
Yeah.
have to like
Never
claim
even
you.
heard of the other
Now
Right,
we have
respect
to,
the others,
we have
man.
to claim
Respect
you
the
as like,
others.
oh, sorry, he just likes us. You know,
Right.
it's, so I don't know. There's like I don't think there's any like hard feelings there,
Right.
but it's like, be respectful
It
of
was
the other acts.
It was just weird too because
I'd
this,
rather you leave than shout our
Right,
name at
right.
them.
Right.
Well, this was a neutral spot. Like it wasn't Chicago. It wasn't anything like that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
there's not that there's no reason for that like built in, but
Right.
I was like,
Well, that
it's
could
just
be
a
part of
weird
it
thing
too.
to see.
Because let's say, like when we're in Chicago, that's our home base, and we've
Right.
been there playing shows for fucking ever, probably more
Right.
than a lot of other cities. So like when you go to an out of state show, let's say that guy who that the fans didn't stick around for was from Ohio or Toledo or something.
Right.
We're like, I don't know, like those fans in that city, in that state, don't have as many opportunities to see us. So I would hope, they come
Right.
out in droves. We played a show in LA years ago in this like weird, really way too hot, sweaty warehouse in LA.
Yeah.
And then a dude went on after us, an LA dude from the YouTube scene, and like nobody stuck around for his set. But we had like 300 people in the fucking room because we never go to LA.
Right.
Like, so
Right.
it's,
At
it
that
might be
point,
where you're
that was
from.
like our second time there.
Yeah. So
Okay.
sometimes those shows when we're like, I would say, yeah, there's a lot of cities bigger than fan bases that show support even bigger than we get at home at this point because like we just don't travel as much.
Right.
And so like when the folks in LA or Toledo or wherever we just were, not Chicago, get a chance to see us, sometimes those shows pop
Right.
off and like I would hope they do, and I'm not sure where the other acts are from
Right.
necessarily, but
Well, you guys got a show tonight too at what is it, Castler's?
yeah, it's not like it's not a
Mattress.
venue.
It's a weird
and liquidation.
It's a weird
Yeah, I
name,
was gonna say it was a
but-
mattress and
It's-
liquidation.
It's not just like a clever name for a venue. Remember that place in L.A.? It was like the hardware store.
Yeah.
And the front kind of looks like a hardware store, but you go around back and it's a bar. It's
We
like
play
a swank
actual
bar.
hardware
Okay.
stores.
Nice.
This ain't like that. It's actually a mattress liquidation warehouse.
Yeah, he has this, property, his business basically,
Right.
and he's turned like the adjacent lot into it has like this, I don't know, what looks to be like almost like a open face
Like a shipping
box
container.
car, yeah, like an
Yeah.
abandoned shipping
You
container.
cut the wall off a shipping container.
So that's like the stage, and there's a full mix set up, and like this, it sounds good. And we played this event over the summer one time, and it's like it's hard to find.
Right.
Honestly, it's not like it's hidden. It's a very
I think that's like
industrial
part of the idea too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool. He's throwing these events, and it seems like he's been doing it for a little while, trying to get more into it as well and just get better at it. But yeah, we show up. There's like, it sounds like a private party because it's not a
Right.
real venue. It's like, hey, is there going to be like, should we bring our own beer? Is there going to be
Right.
food? They got the fucking
It's like
food
an
trucks
event
there. They got
there,
porta
yeah.
potties. It's
Yeah.
like, it was very cool. They did
Yeah.
it very well.
Right.
So we were happy to come back, and we're going to be there in a few hours.
Well, yeah,
That's what's up.
we I would say we kind of have like a strong fan presence of you guys in this area, just because like I've actually seen on well, a lot of it's me, but I don't want to take credit
I was gonna
for
say
that.
you put me on to it.
I don't want to take credit for that, but yeah, like we'll see on Facebook and shit like, hey, who's going to the Palmer Square show tonight? And I'm like, dude, that's fucking cool. Like it's cool to see just because I know, like I've watched you guys for the last like 10 years. That sounds really creepy, but it's true. It's cool to see the growth and then just see, you know, the word spread. Like I think didn't Josh put you onto them or something?
Yeah.
So when we first started hanging out, I was like, hey, let me show you these guys. He's a big hip hop guy too.
Yep, Mudhugger and Broken Wax.
Yeah, that was
My first two songs off you guys.
But he was like, oh, my buddy Josh showed these guys to me, and I'm like, well, I used to date Josh's now girlfriend who showed Josh who showed you. So it's just kind of a cool little thing to see around town. Oh man, we got the hooker fight. I'm excited about this. I like that shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's literal.
Yeah.
Just says ugly.
Nice.
We should mention though too. You guys actually just dropped an EP.
Yeah, yesterday. Well, it was sort of like
The Patreon thing.
Yeah, this is something that goes back to last year too. It's something we started doing when we were like locked down in Chicago. Of like, what the fuck are we gonna? You know, we can't play real shows. We can't like. So we're like, what we can do is just record like little one-take rap videos.
Right.
So we started writing some shit like that. Next thing you know, fucking like, the world opens up again and we're still haven't put the shit out. So we finished it up and we released like one video a month of these songs. We recorded the studio versions after we recorded our like YouTube rapping at the camera. That's obviously like a big part of our identity and our roots in where we come from as YouTube rappers.
The one takes.
So we did those for 3 months, like July, August, September. And then after those were done, we probably should have gotten ahead of it a little more, but then we recorded the studio versions. And they just came out yesterday, so they just, you know, that's something we never used to do when we do like a YouTube one take. We wouldn't also like record the studio version.
Right.
Now it's probably pretty smart to keep like the stream revenue coming in for those two.
Right.
Make a better sounding version for people to add to their playlist than the YouTube rip.
I listened to it yesterday. I think it just dropped yesterday, right? And I noticed that. I was like, oh shit, this isn't like the YouTube versions of them.
No.
They're like full productions and stuff.
I think it comes off much better. There's some slight alterations. I think people even like that too.
Right. And like, the mix just sounds good. They bump in the car. It's like, what
that's
we
the
want you to
first thing
listen
I
to.
noticed. I was like, oh shit, there's the bass.
I was gonna say, and that's the dope thing about it too. Like you don't take away from what you were originally doing as well. Like so you still get to have that originality.
Yeah, it's like in this case we recorded the video versions first and then did the studio tracks. And a lot of times it's almost like the videos were like kind of a warm up for the studio. So it's like, oh, I know what pocket my voice needs to sound in because that's where I found it on the video. Or like, and then there's other times where we'll like record one of those rap videos and then we'll go on tour and play it every night. And it's like, we should have recorded that after the tour because you get so rehearsed with it. And it's like, we don't really rehearse like crazy. It's something we started doing for a couple other ones, I think, was just like playing them on the road before we even released like the video version, where normally we would do it completely the opposite.
What?
That was quick.
Damn. What happened? Submit?
Yeah.
Submission? Is it first round still?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
2 minutes in, 3 minutes in.
That was very quick.
Fuck.
First round Kimura.
I lost. Was it Kimura? Damn. I lost my $10 that I got for free, so it's whatever.
Damn.
I was rooting for Hooker, but Islam was an easy pick.
Yeah, he was a huge underdog. Hooker was.
I made some dumbass picks today, but I wasn't dumb enough to not pick Islam.
Hey, that's I'm gonna take that personal. Not really,
but dude, I picked Jing Lang over Kamza.
Yeah, dude, same shit.
I'm
happened.
retarded.
Same shit happened, so we're even. What is the Sandhagen fight next?
Yes,
I'm excited about that too.
Pewter. Yeah, I like both those dudes. I think I would prefer to see Piotr Jan win though, so that we can get the Aljo Jan rematch that we all want.
I think
that was supposed to take place tonight.
Yeah. Well.
Also, Sandhagen just lost to TJ Dillashaw. Why is he fighting for an interim championship?
I'm assuming you watched that fight though.
I watched that fight and I loved it.
Yeah.
TJ's the man.
Oh, you're a big
like
TJ
they brought
guy.
Hezbollah in.
Yep. That
Goo
dude's 19
years
years old. He's 19 years old. He's hilarious though. But yeah, dude, I'm rooting for Sandhagen.
God hates that guy. I don't know what to tell you.
But I'll bet you.
Oh yeah, I'm going Sandhagen for sure.
Yeah, I just think he's got the reach on him.
He's actually when I saw the face-off the other day, it's like he's not that much bigger than him. He's not as big as he's not as much bigger than him as I
He's
would have
not
expected.
as much as bigger than as much bigger.
There you go.
I want to see
There
the
it
reach
is.
because he's definitely got the reach on him. I think that's going to be significant.
He had the reach on TJ too.
But by like a little bit. I don't know. I thought you think TJ won that fight, I'm assuming. Obviously he did,
It
but
was
Yeah.
a good fight.
What happened?
I thought Sandhagen did, man. TJ had so much damage the whole time, and he never really
but
did anything to
the shots
Sandhagen.
that did the damage to TJ were fewer and further between, I thought.
Well-
TJ's volume was higher. He had more control time. Granted, it was against the
That's-
cage and
yeah.
not on the ground. But hey, the judges
That's-
saw it the way I saw it.
That was a
would
good.
not-
For once.
It wasn't a robbery,
Right.
I think, but it could have just as easily gone to Sandhagen and
Right.
also would not have been a robbery.
Well, Sandhagen brought up a good point that I didn't even
points.
think about the control time along the fence.
Yeah.
He's like that should be actually a neutral spot, like because
Well, you should get your ass off the fence if you think that.
But he, to his defense, which he's obviously biased, but he was like, TJ's got his arms wrapped around me,
Yeah.
so there's no way he can do damage. So it's like that should be a neutral spot,
Right,
Like
but it's not-
I get
Damage
it, but-
isn't 100% of the fight.
right.
And if you're being controlled and
Yeah.
you are being neutralized, then
Yeah.
whoever's doing that to you is technically winning the fight.
Right.
Yeah, I thought TJ did a good job, especially for always having the sun in his eyes during every fight. Fucking visor hand.
Right.
Cool style. Also, yeah, for having over 2 years off,
Yeah.
coming
Yep.
back against a guy
Blown
like
knee.
Sandhagen,
Blown knee, I think, in the first round.
right?
So,
I like TJ Dillashaw. I know.
I like him,
I know
but-
he did a wrong thing,
nah.
but I still like him.
Yeah.
I think he's the shit. I always root for TJ.
Well, we actually, I don't even know where my phone is.
I think the first time we ever watched a live card, we were on tour in Canada, and long story short, our dipshit ex-manager lost the van keys.
Fuckhead that he is.
Oh, I heard that.
So we had to
Damn.
spend 3 extra days in Winnipeg, Canada, and cancel one of our shows because it was like 3 days until a dealership would be open so we can get a new key. So we were over there for a weekend, and a fan of ours came out and showed us a night on the town on a Saturday night. And every time we went to a bar, they were like $10 cover because there's UFC card. And by the third one, he was like, "Fuck it, I got everyone's cover. Let's just go."
Yeah, we were starving.
And it was an awesome bar to watch it in because we came early enough to get like our own little booth with a table and our own TV.
Oh, nice.
But
Oh,
it was
Hell yeah.
UFC 217, 3 title fights. You had Namajunas versus Jacek, and then you had TJ versus Cody Garbrandt,
Yep.
and you had Bisping versus GSP in the main
Jesus.
event. GSP being from Canada, so when he won that fight, the
well,
whole
it was his
fucking-
first fight
Yeah.
in 4 years,
right,
too.
he came out of
So that building
retirement to
was
fight for the
shaking.
title. And yeah, the whole fucking bar was like shaking when he won. I was like, "This is so exciting!"
Just
This
like
is
we went to
awesome.
the
I have
Knicks
to
game.
watch these things.
We went to the Knicks
Yep.
game like a week and a half ago, and we were just like, all right, we're going to MSG. We're going to root for the Knicks, like
Right.
when in Rome type
Right,
thing.
right.
So we realized quickly, like, all right, we're in Canada. The Canadians, the headliner.
Right.
He's coming back. Let's go Canada.
Right,
Like,
right.
It was just such a fun night.
I was still rooting for Bisping, but
Whoa, hold on 1 second. Are you guys subscribed? Have you hit that subscribe button? Have you hit that like button? Have you hit that share button? We got the motherfucking Palmer Squares on an episode. You gotta share that shit. We appreciate you guys for being here. Please support the channel. But speaking of that, we gotta shout out our Patreon producers. We got Taylor, Patty Lite, Barili, Joel, Sarah, Steve, Anthony, Jeremiah, twitch.tv/Evil Tony, and the Teach a Dummy podcast. We got a ton of Patreon producers and a ton of great content over on the Patreon. That is patreon.com/averageAF podcast. Go over there, support the channel. You can actually get a full year for I think like $10 with our $1 tier and an annual subscription. So go support the channel. We appreciate everybody. And then we got to shout out our sponsors as well. The first one, Brew Baker Photography. These guys have been with us for, a year and a half probably, supporting us every month after month. So definitely go show them some love. Brew Baker Photography, facebook.com/BrewBakerPhotography1. Hit them up. Get all your fall pictures, all your Halloween pictures, anything like that. Christmas pictures, if you want to do fucking turkey pictures, do it. Hit him up, facebook.com/BrewbakerPhotography1. Invite your friends, all that kind of stuff. And then the last one is the man himself, Mr. Nate Collins. He is at Spitzer right here in Mansfield, selling used and new cars, and he's a G. He's just straight a G. We love him to death. Go to Spitzer on 4th Street. Make sure to ask for Nate. He is one of the best people that I've ever met. I say it on every ad, but that's because it's true. He's not going to screw you over or anything like that. He's not like your typical used car salesman or anything like that. Definitely go hit him up. Get a great vehicle from Spitzer right here on 4th Street in Mansfield, Ohio. And that's not where the deals end. That is not where they end. If you buy a vehicle from Nate, you'll get free car washes for the life of the vehicle. That's, hundreds or thousands of dollars in savings right there. You could probably go in like every 3 days if you wanted to. I don't think there's any stipulation to it. Maybe once a week, who cares? But that's like 52 car washes a week. Or a year. That's insane. Definitely hit him up. And then, if you don't need a car, but you know somebody who does, recommend them to Nate. And what they can do if they end up getting a car off of him, let him know who sent you, and he's going to send him $100. Just like that. Just like that. So if you know somebody who needs a car, say, go hit up Nate, go mention my name, and he's going to send you $100 just for helping him out. But he's great. Definitely call or text him at 419-961-4581. We all have social anxiety, so texting is fine. That's how cool this guy is. Definitely text him. Definitely support him. Support our sponsors. Again, hit us up on Patreon. Patreon.com/AverageAFPodcast. We got merch. We got all that kind of stuff. Subscribe, like, share, all that. And we ran through these quick because we got to get back to the squares. Love you guys. Peace. So I wanted to ask, too, because I know you guys are big comedy fans. And you guys have Skankfest. Is that the 5th or the 6th?
5, 6, 7 is the...
okay.
Yeah, actually just got an email from their team yesterday because originally they had us performing on whatever night for just like a full hour set. And it seems like they're trying to do something different or maybe add music. I think last Skankfest 2 years ago we played as well. And I think the music was like one night. It was Friday night. There was a music post show. Okay. And it was us and this other band that was part of like, their show, their Battle of the Bands thing that they do. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pronounced Botbap.
Botbap. I almost had it.
So I think, so they just emailed and they were asking if we were cooler doing like a shorter sets, one on Friday and one on Saturday.
Okay.
So it sounds like we might perform twice, just 20, 25 minutes or something each time. So that's exciting.
Now,
either way, it's like I just respond like, yeah, whatever you want.
Right.
It's like
Just
as long as we can hang out and watch all the comedy.
Tell me
I'll
where
play
to go.
one song. I'll play 100. Like whatever you want. Thank you for letting us be there.
Well, yeah, it was interesting because I was watching the Legion of Skanks a couple years ago, and they mentioned you guys, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
well, that's just
insane.
my extreme comedy nerdism. Just like, putting like making that sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like something like.
A tradition?
No, I
That'd
just
be
like,
cool.
I was just like kind of forcing these people that I like to know who I am, like making it like a little bit of a business goal, a professional goal, where it's like, I think it started with we finished recording Planet of the Shapes, and then we all went out to like a lot of times when we'll finish a project, we'll just do something, whether it's go have burgers and beers and just kind of like cheers to a job well done. And in this case for Shapes, we all went to see one of the members of the podcast, Big J Okerson, was in Chicago. We're like, let's get tickets, go see Big J, have a night out, have some drinks at a comedy show. So afterwards, we take some photos with him. We're telling him we're big fans and all this, and then give him like a CD or something. Something with name recognition. Like, here's this, fucking you throw it out. I don't care what you do with it. And then you see him again. Like, we have an off night on tour a year later. So it's like, oh, they're recording their podcast tonight. And we're like 40 minutes away. Let's go check it out. Right. So then we like a little more FaceTime, a little more, hey, you remember us? Oh, yeah, you're the guy with the CD at the... Right. And the next thing you know, this like slow build turns into like, would you guys want to be guests on our like Battle of the Bands episode? We're like, yes. Yeah. And then it's like on that episode, they were promoting their first Skankfest, or the second one rather. And I was like, are you guys booking music yet? Besides comedy, just throwing it out there. And then it was like... I think Dave Smith, because I'm such a nerd, I know exactly. Like Dave Smith does the Lewis voice,
Yep.
like, you know what, doggy, you just got yourself booked.
Yep.
Like, and it worked. It's like it took 4 years, but and we've done it like I don't know. That's something we enjoy doing when we have an off night. Is like,
Right.
let's look up the comedy club in Austin or in
Right.
New York or wherever we are and go just have some laughs over there.
So you guys gonna see Rogan when you're in Austin?
Well, if
he's there like every night.
I was gonna say if he's at Skankfest, I guess that's Houston.
He might be there.
you
He'll
never know.
probably make an appearance, but
That'd be cool.
It'd be
It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
it'd be so cool. So have you guys like met all of them and like hung out with them?
Rogan,
the
yeah,
show.
we're tight.
Well, right.
No, the Legion of Skanks guys have
Yeah.
been very cool to us, and it's like I'm just like forcing them, like, please like me.
right.
But like, no, they've been nothing but cool to us. We in fact just saw their show 2 weeks ago because we had an
Okay.
off night in New York.
There you go.
The first night we landed.
They
in
do it
town.
at the Cellar, right?
Well, no, they're at the stand.
Oh, the stand, yeah,
in New
yeah.
York, yeah. So yeah, we just like whenever we have the time, we'll just pop in, and now it's like
Hell
it's
yeah.
almost a little less weird. I used to like look for the inn to be like,
Right.
oh, by the way, what's up? I'm Matt. You remember? Yeah.
Right.
Let's that last week's episode was
Right.
great. You start doing that thing,
Right.
and now it's kind of just like, what's up, bro?
Right.
What's going on?
Dude, that's
See you in
dope.
Houston, bro.
Super cash.
To me, that's awesome because I've been a huge comedy fan forever too. So
Yeah.
I love Big J. I'm more of like a bonfire guy with
Yeah.
Dan Soder.
Right.
I remember when they went from 2 days to 4 days a week. It like kind of bummed me out because I didn't have the extra time,
Right.
and that sort of like was the downslope of my listening in on that show.
Yeah.
And I like kind of picked my team. I was
Right.
always Team Skanks, but I love the
Right.
Bonfire. I love Dan Soder. And I was like, I hit this point too where like this was years ago, but there was a period of my life for sure for years where like I was nonstop listening to comedy podcasts.
That's
It's
all
like
I do.
I'd leave the house and I'd have one on to the train and then listen to it on the train.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that one ends, I'd go to Bill Burr's Weekly and then that would end.
Yep.
And I'd put on some Norm Macdonald fucking when he had his. And then I'd go
R.I.P.
into Ari Shafir's and then I'd go into
Yep.
this one and that one and this one. And like, I got to this point where I was like, what do I think anymore? What do I
Right.
like?
And you're like, did I have an original thought today?
What is
Right.
my opinion on anything, or do I only like have? So it was like this kind of conscious. I really did like want to get back to. You hear comedians a lot of time talk about how they don't watch other people's
Right.
specials because they don't want
Right.
outside influence. You know,
Right.
they're not trying to whatever. So it's almost like not that we're comedians, but I want to get back to working on my shit,
Right.
without like feeling. It got to this point too where I was like. If I didn't get all of my weekly show, if I didn't have enough time, I'd be like pissed off, or almost as if
Really?
fuck, I didn't get all of my chores done this week. It's like, dude, you didn't get them done because you fucking
Right.
focused on this shit.
Yep.
That's not the chore.
Yep.
So I really did I don't listen to Bill Burr's podcast anymore. I don't like all these things I listen to every single week, every
Right.
fucking episode. I just started narrowing it down just to
Right.
be more myself because I was
Yeah.
just such a fucking nerd for all the comedy shows.
That's exactly how
So I still
am,
keep
man.
up here and there,
It's-
but it's like I gotta tone it down here.
Well,
and there.
I drive all the time, man. I drive probably a couple hours on average, probably a couple hours a day.
That's the thing too is I used to take the train to and from work, and it was
Right.
like at least an hour commute each
Right.
way, and like
Right.
that was always podcast time. So I always had that, and then that stopped. I left that job, and then I was at home, and I don't sit on the couch and listen
Right.
to stuff as often. So I just sort of I realized god damn, you start having a conversation with somebody, and then stuff comes up inorganically. It's like I'm almost forcing something in because I heard it talked about on the flavor of the
Right.
week was talked about by Bill Burr, and it's like, oh yeah, and then I'm finding myself
Did you know
inorganically.
that 1 billion people have been prescribed ivermectin?
Oh my god!
Right, everybody.
I feel like honestly, I had that conversation on this show a month or two ago because I'm like, you guys are idiots. It's not a horse dewormer.
Well,
yeah,
certain
it's
things are so widespread that you're forced
Right,
to talk
right.
about them, but
Right.
not at dinner with grandma. Grandma doesn't need to
Well,
know that
right.
1 billion people have been prescribed whatever,
right.
unless she's needs it. Grandma,
Yeah.
grandma needs the
then,
drugs.
then maybe she does need to know.
Ignorance is bliss, and
Stole some of my grandma's ivermectin.
I'm trying to be a little
Don't
more
OD,
blissful.
man.
Yeah, like when you said Brian Laundrie or whatever,
Yeah.
no idea what that means. I just
Really?
don't pay attention to anything anymore.
Thank you.
He didn't either.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's be dumb, dude. That's the way to be
We're
happy.
dumb together.
I'm assuming. Do you know the reference?
I know it.
Yeah,
Okay.
some guy or he's dead or not. I don't know. Who cares?
Hey.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
That's him, right? That's him. I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I need to know.
Well,
That's exactly almost how I explained it. I was like, wasn't it the dude that they were looking for that killed the girl? And I think he's dead.
Allegedly,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I think you had a different theory.
I think
on,
the same person that killed Gabby killed Brian.
That's kind of what we were thinking because there were other murders in that same town.
You guys sound like you watch 90210 every night. Like I heard Gabby's dating Ryan now. Like I don't know what's going on in this world.
I listen to podcasts. Like if it's on there, that's the only way I know.
I know.
No, I know some peripheral details about it, but
I get mine from Danielle, my fiance. Just
I don't have any
whatever
real
she gets.
theories on anything.
Yeah, but she learns from TikTok.
Fuck
so.
yeah, she does. So half the time I'm just
Gross.
like, oh, and then
Well,
I
there's
make a
some stuff-
conspiracy out of it. I'm like, oh, this could have possibly happened.
Yeah.
Some things are unavoidable, and then there's some stuff where it's like the first time I heard about this was like 6 months ago. The first time I heard the name Matt Gaetz, I was like, "This is a story I don't need to fucking know about. I don't know. I never heard of this guy before. I'm not politically motivated. I don't care about like his congressman's seat, whatever the fuck's going on in that guy's life. It's like." Yeah, let it come out in the wash. Deal with it. The people that are supposed to deal with him texting underage girls, it's like, so then, but it's talked about on shows. Everybody's like, well, this is the story of the week.
Right.
And then it's like, I feel like I have to have an opinion on Matt
Yes.
Gaetz.
Right.
It's like a huge ordeal, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Why is it such a big deal?
The whole world feels like it's turning into some like fucking
social
political,
melting pot. Like we all have to have opinions on
political
everything.
talk show where you have to have an opinion on fucking everything. I was telling Matt like months ago, I'm having breakfast with my grandpa, and he's asking me, his kids are starting to go back to school, and what do I think about kids wearing masks in school or whatever? And I'm like, Grandpa, I don't have kids.
Like,
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
Not my problem.
Like, it's got
Let
nothing
someone
to
who
do
has
with
kids
me.
figure it out. Do I have to worry about fucking everything, every topic in this
Right.
country? I have to have. Why do I have to have an opinion on that? Mm-hmm. What does my opinion have to do with the people who it's going to affect?
It gets
Right,
harder, but it's
right.
like you try to like not. There's some stuff like I do care about, and there's some stuff that I don't, but I like feel as though I should know. It's that like how much time it takes you to find the awareness of whether or not this is news for me or news for everyone or news that like really isn't even fucking news.
Right.
And it's like so like I look at it like a congressman he was Snapchatting. I don't have Snapchat. I don't vote. I don't give a fuck. Like,
Right.
This
I
doesn't
did.
He's
concern
not
me.
in your state.
I was gonna say
Like, none
now,
of it. None of it.
Now I'm in your situation. I have no idea who Matt Gaetz is. So like,
Welcome to my world.
Right.
Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
that feel
feels
good
great.
to not know at all
Yeah.
who that asshole is?
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea.
People are like for the sensationalism on social media. They're so much more invested
Yes.
in politicians outside of their state who have nothing to do with them and don't even know like who their congressman is, who their
Yeah.
senator
Right.
is.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't pay attention to that shit.
It's like, shit,
My-
just focus on you.
My thing, like, I don't want to get into obviously all this, but my thing is like, if there's any policy change, like, it affects us all. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just okay. Now we all have to pay more taxes. Like, whatever. Like, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. Like, I've got to pay taxes still. If they increase it,
Yeah.
I can't fucking do anything
Yeah,
about it.
right.
Like, okay,
It's like,
they
whatever.
increased it. I'm not going to sit here and get pissed off about it.
That's the thing, though, is like I guess the logic would be that you can do something about it. Like the people can revolt.
Get
We
pissed
can
off,
start a
bro.
revolution. We can overthrow the government. Oh my God, that sounds exhausting.
Get
Right.
pissed off,
Yeah.
Just
strap
rape
a
me.
rifle to your back, and go to the Capitol building and do
Right.
something about it.
Right.
It's like just fuck me, you know? Just fuck my money. I don't know. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. I don't know.
Rise up!
Right.
Oh, yeah, I gotta work. I got a show tonight.
It's
I
like
don't-
I got to
yeah.
work in the morning,
I don't
dude.
care enough, man.
You guys know we'll meet you there.
Yeah, we'll meet you there.
It's like I work 50 hours a week. I ain't got time for this shit.
Right.
Well, the thing is, it's like I think getting the news has always been a thing, you know. But it's like, yeah, like smart technology and social media and all of that, like, and the reading headlines and like developing an opinion because I saw the headline and then I heard Rogan speak about the topic, so
Right.
now I know what's going on.
Right.
Where like all this news isn't for everybody. To where like it's got to be easier to like. Let Rogan or whoever have
Yeah.
their conversation, but now I don't need to walk over to my friend Dan's house and be like, "Did you hear what's going on? Did you hear this?" I don't fucking know. I don't care. But it's like we all get warped.
Well, I've watched friends regurgitate from, say it was a Rogan episode, a conversation that's two other people had. I listened to it, and then I watched my friend regurgitate from it
All
with none of
wrong?
the insight
Right.
and way more of the passion. It's like, hey, calm down. The people who
That
actually
used
knew
to
what they
be
were
me
talking
too. That
about
used to
weren't
be
as
me.
fucking fuming as you are. Chill
Right.
out.
Right.
That's hilarious.
I think that's most people.
Yeah.
I have way less of the information and way more of the passion, and I'm ready to fucking get in someone's face over it.
Right. I watch a lot of shows.
read the headline,
listen to
not
a lot
the
of,
article.
I'm going to do my impression of the host of that show. So I'm furious. Like,
Right.
you're not them, you know?
Well,
You
I feel
don't
like
have their vocabulary.
I feel like that happened a lot in the pandemic, especially because
Oh, totally.
There's-
Everybody's at home.
Everybody was
Yeah.
bored.
stewing in opinions.
Yeah.
right.
I started turning, I should get back to doing
Being
this.
split.
I would turn my phone off for like days at a time.
Right.
When
Oh, that'd
when
be
the first
so nice.
quarantine
Pandemic.
started,
That's a healthy
because I noticed
exercise period.
Yes, I noticed, but because of the lockdowns, I noticed like everybody, myself,
Exacerbates
my
it.
girlfriend, everybody around me,
Right.
lean into the phone. Lean
Right.
into, well, I don't know what else to do, so I'll spend 3 times as much time on the fucking
That was
phone.
me.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna shut mine off. So even if I check it, the instinctual, what time is it? What do I gotta
Right.
know? Is anybody texting me? It doesn't light up, and I go, oh, I'm not gonna turn it
Try
on
and convince yourself
to know what
that-
time it is or something.
I
you
was,
know?
I was just wanted to know what time it was.
Right.
Right.
So then it becomes more glaringly obvious, like, oh, I have a fucking twitch. I have Tourette's now because I can't put my phone
trying
down.
to go for
I got to
it.
keep touching. So I would shut it off, and I did that for like a month where like, and I would give myself like a half hour in the morning and a half hour at night, and I would turn it on. And I would answer my texts. You know, my mom texts
Right,
me.
the
When
thing
I,
about-
I got to make a post. I got to promote the fucking podcast this week or
Thing is
whatever.
that a lot of people are in a place where they feel like you almost need it, like to live a
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
with some semblance of normalcy. There's like things.
I have lost it, by the way. I have like, I'm talking about me a year ago where I need to get back to doing that. You know, I haven't shut my phone off in fucking 6 months.
It's like
probably.
you. Everybody like. No phones at the table. I think it's a great exercise. You're eating dinner. You should like all talk. But you go to a restaurant now, and it's like I need my phone to pull up
Right.
the menu.
Yeah, let me
Right.
hit that QR
If
code.
I don't,
yeah.
if I get these smartphones out of my life, can I order?
Right.
Can I have food still?
That's
Yep.
crazy. I didn't even think of that. Like, what's your grandma gonna do when she walks up with her flip phone? How's she gonna get? You know, you just order regularly. Like, ask for a paper
What are
menu.
those
I
Jewish
guess?
guys in New York City gonna do? I don't know. They all use flip phones. I don't know.
That's back to the ignorance is bliss. Look, I'm not a Jewish guy. I don't live in New York. Fuck them. Let them
don't
figure it
care.
out.
Right.
But at the same time, in terms of this conversation, kind of wish I was a Jewish guy. Lived in New York. Wouldn't be sucked into smartphones all day.
No, it's
Right.
it's there's
just
a flip
be-
side to that coin. It seems nice. It seems nice to not have to be.
Yeah.
And I think it is.
Weak.
I think it's something where like society is probably too far gone to like if you approach somebody, like I know people that I've like seen their like their like insistence, their like I'll just call it addiction. The fucking phone addiction. If you posed it
Yep.
as like a you really need to put that thing down more, they would be like, fuck you.
Right.
Like, oh, that's what an addict would say, by the way, if you tried to take their shit away from them.
Yes,
There's always an excuse.
yes.
There's always an excuse like, oh, it's a.
I'm learning from TikTok.
Or okay, I will,
Right.
and it happens
yeah, I'm,
for a day,
I'm
and
researching.
then they go
I'm
back
keeping
to
up
it.
with the news and stuff like that. Where it's like, yeah, for 10 minutes, and what about the other 4 hours where you're
Right.
not?
Right.
Where it's like, I'm right in front of you, and that's rude to ignore
Right.
me. Like,
Right.
No matter what the relationship is,
Right.
to like be out to dinner and everybody like be on there. It's like this isn't
Right.
the fucking meaning of life. It
Well,
sucks.
Let me be a douchebag real quick and look at my phone then, because I
I'm
know
out. I'm leaving.
Great segue. Great segue.
I know you guys do fan questions on your show and
Yeah.
stuff. We actually gathered a few from the Beach Squad Facebook page.
Oh, buddy.
So yeah, so there's a few on there that there was a couple that are like extremely basic questions, and I'm like, I'm not asking those where you guys have answered them 300 times
Right.
already.
you guys meet?
Right. This one's good though. This one's actually local from Murphy. He said, "What prompted you guys to change the name from illiteracy to the Palmer Squares?" That's a
It was
throwback.
gay.
Yeah, it's gay mostly, and no,
One
we had
is
a
way gayer than the other.
illiteracy was.
There's also other people, right?
Yeah, there were definitely
Okay.
a couple other groups that went by that with maybe a little different spelling or a space in the words
Right.
or whatever. But there was a group at the time, at least I remember, that like had merchandise and they had hoodies
Okay.
that said. But either way, we were still that.
More than we could have said about ourselves.
I don't think we've ever had hoodies. Still, Palmer Squares.
You guys had hoodies.
Wow,
Tie dye. Come on, man.
Wowie.
Yeah, I guess. It's just not something we ever have on a merch table. You know, we get asked
Right,
at live
right,
shows. You
right.
got sweaters? Nope, never.
Right.
No hats. No, yeah, we don't want money.
Right. We got sweaters.
But like,
That's right. New
Uh,
merch.
it was also that's what we called ourselves before we like moved out of our mom's house and lived together to go to college downtown. That
Okay.
was our like our second identity after Ordinary Dogs, which was just a
Right.
ripoff of Typical
Right.
Cats. So then it was illiteracy,
Still way better.
which is like, oh, like our literacy is ill. We're from Illinois. This is us. It defines us.
I didn't put the Illinois together, but
Yeah, nobody would. It's
Yeah.
fucking moot point. Only an asshole like me would point that out. But we moved to a block off of an area in Logan Square, Chicago called Palmer Square Park.
Right.
And I would walk through that park every day to get to that train I was just talking
Okay.
about where I'd listen to my Billboard podcast.
full circle.
Yes. And so Palmer Square. And then it's like, squares, like losers.
Right.
We always played into
Right.
like the
Right.
yeah, we're not out here click clack and the gat like doo doo doo. Like that's not
Right.
what our music sounds like.
Right.
We're, yeah, we'd be so much more famous. But like it was just something that felt like, oh, this is like hip hop 101. Like rep the block where we're
Right.
from.
Yep.
So we
Okay.
lived there for 8 years and built our whole identity. And then the Palmer Squares is like we live here, or at least we did for a long time.
Right.
And it gives us that like that angle from the jump. We can lean
Right.
into the fact that you might look at us and not think we're going to be any good at rapping. That's
Right.
in fact what you'd probably think the opposite. So
Right.
playing into we're kind of nerdy squares will catch you off
Right.
guard
Mhm.
with what we are good at. I think it allows us to, I don't know, lean into that silly shit a
Right.
little harder too.
And something people don't think about too is like you got to be kind of like Googleable,
Right.
Like, because like I listened to another artist, his name's just X.
Yeah.
And to find him anywhere, you have to look up It's X Music, all in one. And I'm like, because you can't just search X. Like, it's
Right,
not
right.
possible.
Yeah. There's like, real quick too, we were just on tour with Jarv, obviously, and he was talking about, he kind of wants to start a podcast with his buddy. And he's like, title. He's like, I don't know what to really call it. I'm not sure. So we're like spitballing, we're goofing, like everything that comes up. We would just call it like the blah, blah, blah podcast.
Right.
Anything that would come up. And then like after a couple days go by, I remember he said something referring to his cock, like I got a beautiful unit. And I was like, dude, the Beautiful Unit podcast sounds like a good title.
That's great.
There
You know, and now we're just spitballing. But once it's like, it is kind of hard to come up with titles.
I got you.
And like we didn't have rap names for fucking years. It was just like
Right.
Seth and Maddie B.
Right.
Like into Palmer Squares. I think our
Right.
first year of Palmer Squares, like I didn't have a fucking real rap
Yeah.
name probably, but that's something I do enjoy too. Like I love titling a song.
Right.
I love like finding the label for it, like because you can call it anything. It's like I hope I don't ever have a kid because I'll
Right.
fucking call it Planet of the Shapes. I'll call it Kazam Demic
Right.
Junior.
You'll be one of those parents.
Well, that's I kind of relate to that too because like I try to pull good names for our episodes, and it's
Yes,
usually
me too, yeah.
it's usually like the stuff that's like subtle, but talking about like jerking off, but
Right.
you would never know it
Right, or something that comes up a lot.
until you
like,
listen to it.
if you say it, if it comes up, or like everybody says it one time, like in our last episode with Jarv, there was like a gold finger, then a bad finger reference,
Right.
and like I got the ring finger, the middle finger, the bad finger. And
Right.
then started talking about like later on we're talking about sex stuff and like
Right.
fingers in the butt, and like the bad finger goes
Yep.
up there,
Yep.
and then like everybody gets there like, this is like an obvious.
There's
kinda,
a theme, yeah, at
right.
that point.
So I'd like to do something that kind of like seems like the most fitting.
Right.
There's also something to like just 1, 2, or 3 words that's good too.
Right.
Drawing
Right.
out a long thing, like it's got to
Right.
be like a nice little 2-word
Right.
title.
Yeah, I watch like a lot of the ESPN like MMA interviews, and they have like a full sentence as the name of like the interview, and I'm like,
Right.
don't do that. Like
Right.
that's just weird. This next one is from Skylar Anderson, and I like this one a lot.
Skylar and her son. Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
which is a weird for this. Do you have a best or worst post nut clarity moment? Because that's real. That is very real. We've talked about it before. If you're about to make a bad decision, rub one out. See if you still want to make that decision.
Right. So when you say, okay, because I was gonna say like, is this like hooking up and then like
that
instantly
too.
regretting
That
the
too.
hookup?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Either way.
You know what's funny? Because my first thing that comes to mind, it was like more of a masturbation thing,
Yeah.
or like even like jerking off on a toilet, onto a toilet.
Oh.
I upper deckered a toilet with my jizz on this tour. But no, like sometimes there's like a maintenance jerk on the road,
Right.
literally like a fucking hotel toilet or something real quick.
Gotta get
and
it out.
sometimes it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like,
Right.
like I am sitting backwards on a toilet right now, like real quick. I
Right.
just got to get this out of me,
Right.
so I don't like have blue balls or so. I can't go all fucking week
Right.
without getting one
I'm at a
off.
gas station. There's somebody knocking.
Yeah.
Knock
on
harder,
the
please.
entrance door. I'm standing in front of a glass door at a gas
You
station.
can hear a kid asking their mom to buy them candy out there.
So yeah, there's moments like that sometimes where I'm just like on the road. It's like, do I have to do this right now?
Yes.
No.
The answer is
I
yes.
don't, but I'm gonna. Oh yes, I will.
Is there a little thrill in that, doing that in the...
No,
No,
like
that's
you
like,
said,
it's
there's
like
a
the
depression.
opposite.
It's maintenance.
I
It's
call it
pure
a maintenance jerk.
Okay.
Like I'll do that, like a maintenance piss, where it's like I
Right.
just got to get like
It's
half
clinical.
of the, yeah.
Right.
It's
Male masturbation is clinical.
Yep.
There's a matter. There's a substance
A piece
in
of
us
matter.
that needs to come out,
Yep.
or else it'll
we
hurt,
go crazy.
or it'll make us nuts.
Yep.
I like it.
So there's that, but that's also like, I don't know.
Girls can just go pee.
Yeah, I haven't had. We actually.
What?
Isn't that what comes out when they squirt anyway?
Yeah. Well, that's different.
I'm pretty sure it's mostly pee.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's
But
nasty.
also, like, I'm trying to think. Like,
Women need to orgasm too, but men, it's like
It's like
more
a golden
clinical.
shower, just worded different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Female version.
Yeah.
but like, as far as a non-masturbatory situation, we were just talking on tour. I think about like every girl that I had dated or hooked up with. Like, to me, you see the shirt, it says ugly. I
Right.
feel like I did pretty good for myself. I was just sort of batting out of my league for the
Right.
most part.
Right.
I didn't have a lot of like, wow, that was a fucking low point for
Right.
me.
Right.
Like
I've
I'm-
slummed it.
Yeah, there've been, I don't know. I remember fucking so many years ago. I think we were in Canada like the first time or something. I don't know. This is like 2013, 2014 maybe, and like you hooked up with a girl who was like the hot girl.
It was the
And
worst.
I
I
was-
came in 25 seconds.
I remember like a girl kind of just
Half
like,
hard.
you know,
Oh, Jesus.
some girl sacked up to like make a move on me, and I was not interested in her.
Right.
But it's like, well, I'm
Gotta
drunk
take one
and
for the
she's
team.
making out with me, and she does have a bed.
Hey.
And I don't have one tonight.
Score.
Hey,
Right.
it's
So
worth
I
it.
remember like that was kind of like you didn't really have to go through with all of that,
Yeah.
but you know, YOLO. But still, it wasn't like an
I'm not
immediate
proud of
like
myself.
yeah, like I gotta stop drinking. It wasn't like
Right.
some big fucking moment. So I don't know. I wish
We
I
had
had a
a
better
girl-
answer. I guess.
We had a girl come through, like mega fan, and a bit of a mess. And she blew me, and like while blowing me, like was saying she wanted to fuck, and I don't know what reason I gave, but whatever it was a good idea. I was like, no,
No, I don't wanna.
Right.
I don't have I
don't
don't
need a
have
reason.
condoms or whatever. And yeah, that was a great like once I nutted of like, I'm so glad I didn't put it in her.
Right,
Right.
right, right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
She's crazy.
How long have we been recording?
You're just over an hour.
Okay, cool. So I know Term wants to watch these last two fights.
I paused
Sure,
it.
we got
Yeah,
time.
we got a couple more.
It's all good. It's paused.
Let me see. This one's kind of like a common question, but I'm kind of curious too. What's your guys' favorite project together? Whether it be like the outcome of the project, while you were making it, something like that. What would you think?
I could probably find a reason for each project to
Right.
say like why
Right.
it's special or why it was different and we enjoyed that. But God damn, everybody's calling me. Now I would probably say With or Without It, which is like our newest or most recent full album. Mostly because of like the behind the scenes turning point in our career.
Yeah.
Like we started the first half of that project under the old system, you know, with our, you know, Skankfest label, and as
right.
Term mentioned, a shithead manager.
Yep.
And then all of that fell apart. It was just like it was like a big business collapse kind of, and we started completely from scratch. Like where we recorded our music, we couldn't record there anymore, and
Right.
like we needed to like change everything about how we worked, and just kind of like start over. We started our own business. We had to make a new business checking account. We had to like
Right.
the cover of that album is us with all of our shit in the fucking street,
Right.
moving from the old to
I was
the new.
wondering if that was like a setup picture. Like it looked legitimate. Like
So that like
It's real.
It's very
Yeah.
meaningful to me for us to like finally, after so many projects and so many years, finally like back to the tour manager thing. It's like we're cutting all the fat and we're gonna figure out how to like do this shit
right.
ourselves. And
Right.
I got to shout out Drew Mantia too,
Right.
because we went and visited him in St. Louis. He still mixes stuff for us. And before we could set up all of that shit that was unplugged and
Right.
uncoordinated on the street, we went and recorded at his place for a while, and then we got back on our feet with the home studio, and then did
Okay.
like a mix between recording, and then and now I feel like we're in a decent spot where we can record with nobody else involved, but and no location. It's like we can do it at my place with
Right.
our equipment and send it to our like our dude, our fucking engineer for the last 10 years. And there used to just be so many other moving parts going on that were they were wrenches in the gears. They weren't moving it faster.
Right.
So after we shot that picture on there, we still had half the songs to make. We still had to make Bad Animals. We still had to make Bringing the 90s Back. We still had Worthless and so it was like less than half done.
Lucky Quarter.
We had this like anchor, or that's not what I wanted to say. Just like a riff, something like fucked it all up in the middle, and there was like like an uncertainty of like, should we even finish this? What were we even doing? How many songs were supposed to be on this project? Like we only had 4 done, and I don't even know if we can record a song for the rest of the fucking year. But we got past that shit, and just getting over this massive like challenge, I think makes that. And I think it's some of our best music. I do. I think some of our best stuff is on that project. Not to say there isn't some of our best stuff on other projects. But that like behind the scenes, fans might not know how personal, some of that shit was.
There's
for me, I think that's my answer.
Achievement of growth in it. I think on the flip side of that coin, I would also say like Spooky Language could have been one of my favorite things to ever do, because of the total opposite. We had never recorded a project before. It was a totally new experience to be in a studio. We didn't record it in a music studio. I feel like that's the only project that it was recorded in 2 sessions, and we went to both of those sessions with every song like mapped out, and we knew like how it was supposed to be and how it was. Everything else we've kind of like taken a couple months on at least. Recording shit and re-recording shit and coming up with, let's change the hook on this or something. Spooky Language is kind of like how albums used to be made, where it was like, we got this studio space for 2 days. We know all the songs that we're going to record, and we just go in for 2 days and bang it out. And there was this young fucking, like, we were kids, and it was a really fun opportunity at that point.
Right.
And then real quick, too, before Wowie, Planet of the Shapes would have been my answer probably, but it's because of, like, that album took, like, at least 2.5 years to make, close to 3 years. But that's because at the time, this is before we, like, had the means to do this full time. Right. So I was working full time, again, trained to the job, 9 to 5, and then I'm away. So there were at least one night a week for years, pretty much, sometimes more than one night. It would just be like... I'd get up, I'd take an hour to work, and then I'd work 8 hours, and then I would have to take 3 trains. I would have to like traverse the city from like the South Loop all the way up back to the north side, from the fucking blue line to the red line to the brown line, and then spend 6 or more hours recording. And then so there was like just how much the fucking candle got burned at both ends for us to like, I don't know, I just felt like we busted ass on that one. Like we put a lot of time and a lot of work into that.
We did a lot of experimenting, I think, on that album too. We had a lot of fun.
But like a lot of the stuff, getting that work done I would be 10 hours into my day already, like working. Like I would have to, and then that's when I would start. I'm fucking tired.
Right.
So, but like getting it done on that level, it's like, it's not ideal. It's not how we record now, much better.
Right.
But we worked pretty hard for a long time to make that project come together, and I am happy with that one too. I would have said that's probably my favorite project before we made With or Without It, which I think just, I don't know, is also good.
I kind of had that question too. Like, I know you guys, I don't know if it was a couple years ago, maybe it was right before the pandemic, I don't remember, but you guys did the No More Jobs tour, where you guys like quit your jobs and just went on tour and shit. Has that been consistent? Like, you haven't had to have day jobs and shit, just living off Patreon and shows? It's definitely not
glamorous. Like, the No More Jobs tour, like, it's like, good for them.
Right.
They did it. Long story short, somebody, and we're involved too. We take the blame for this. But that whole tour, it buried us in debt.
Damn.
We left that tour with a lot of unnecessary debt, and there was already unnecessary debt in our operation going into it, and there was just like the word budget should have came up a lot more.
Right.
So no, it was
back to like why you have tour managers.
Yes.
It's supposed to be to not come off the tour.
Yes.
$15,000 in debt, but
yeah. I actually did want to get back to that maybe after. Like there is a necessity for a tour manager.
Right.
Like for our 8 nights with Jarv and stuff, not necessarily.
Right.
But yeah, when it comes to like them, they're the ones who would deal with the promoters or like get the info. They can give you the schedule. Like good tour managers will give you like a fucking breakdown of tomorrow. Here's what the weather looks like. Here's how many hours on the road. So we have to leave this early if we want to stop for lunch. And then you get to the venue and the chips and the salsa and the fucking veggie tray and the beers and the water are already in the fridge. And then there's like here's the Wi-Fi password. You don't have to like get all that shit together yourself. Hand them the money. They'll hand it to me later. Like you get to really like focus on your
cool.
But you don't
take
necessarily
care of the details
at our level. You don't need it all the time. You know,
on a big tour, they take care of details that the headliner can just like worry about.
Be the artist,
preparing for the show.
I was
that
gonna say, because that would be a lot of headache on top of preparing for that performance. And
I'm assuming they probably like
definitely got.
If you guys are flying, they probably book the flights and all that.
Yeah, booking hotels and stuff. They would do a lot of times, but it's like doing all of that like work. The actual work where we'll do it. We'll drive. We'll book the hotel. We'll talk to the promoter. We'll get the money. You know,
the quote unquote like admin work of that kind of
selling
stuff.
merch too. A tour man, or just sometimes you bring a person just for merch.
Right.
But like standing at our table, like we can't just leave our shit out on the table and attend it all night. But if we have somebody selling it for us, and then we just make our cool little FaceTime appearance and send some shit, and I'll be back in 20 minutes. Like it's cool to like have the time to go rest when we're like I just said when we walked in, I'm tired.
Right.
Tired on the road for 8 days or however, you know, some people on the road for 18, 80.
Right.
It's like, it's fucking a long time.
Well,
I was going to get back to, I already forgot where that was going, but
the tour manager stuff. But I know the only reason I kind of want to cut this off, I know our camera overheats sometimes.
Oh, so for sure. Let's wrap it up.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But this one's from Caitlin Hughes. This is for Matt specifically. I don't know if you know her or not, or if this is a random person, but she said, "Marry me." So
I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, I don't think.
There's already somebody special out there who's definitely waiting for that to happen. So I'm going to have to prioritize the love of my life. Sorry, Caitlin.
Oh, there you go.
But when her and I get divorced, hit me up.
Hey, there you go. There you go. And then this will be the last one. This is from Jake Wathog, actually. My dude, he lives in New York now. But has there ever been a moment where you individually or together thought about no longer pursuing music? Because I'm sure it's obviously super tough, and in the pandemic, maybe you're not feeling as creative. Definitely
in the pandemic. It's not about no longer pursuing during that, but I made a LinkedIn. I was like, I got to find some fucking real work.
Right.
Like, I don't know what I'm going to, I got to keep.
A question of like whether or not I can, or I'm going to be allowed to.
Right.
Right. No, just in general, I think I have more of like a long game, like I don't know if I'm going to be wanting to be a rapping and the Palmer Squares are going to be doing shows when we're 50. Right. So it's like at some point I feel like there will be like a decrescendo. There will be like a wind down.
Nice word.
Or something. But like I'm not focusing on that. I want us to keep fucking making stuff, and it's like
it's more like if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Right, but there's also this thing of like, look, it's not glamorous. I don't want to be out playing shows like that are poorly attended, and I'm getting sick and whatever, and I'm in my we really got to be doing it even better than we're doing it now, 10 years from now, for us to be looking at 10 more. It's like we're not getting any younger. So there's just that thing. And it's not about like stopping making music. We'll probably both always make some sort of music in some capacity, even into our 50s and stuff. It might not be Palmer Squares.
Maybe
it might not sound like this if it
is. But
but you know, like Term's a big country fan. I could imagine him fucking playing, you know, on a stool with a guitar.
The highly recommended like blows me away every week because it's something completely different than what I would ever find.
Right.
It's awesome.
I think there's that whole music knowledge.
I'm cultured.
Him. Right.
I am not.
So we could do more with that than what we're doing now. Like I feel like there's more I could be doing. It's more about like not. I don't want to just do the Palmer Squares forever.
Right.
I want to do the Palmer Squares as long as we can, but I also think we should do. I want to write a movie. I want to do other stuff too. Like I don't know how. I'm not good at that yet, but I do have like goals that I think I'll try to embrace more in the future. While also like. We've been doing Palmer Squares over 10 years. I feel like I've gotten better at like, I know how this timeline works.
Right.
I know how much time it takes us to write songs. I know that like, if I got my verse and I'm waiting on his, I don't need to just sit and wait. I can write some other shit.
Right.
Maybe a movie. Maybe like, you know, I just start thinking about like how to, because really like all I wanted, 20-year-old me is like, I just want to be able to do 100% Palmer Squares. That's it forever. And then I realized like, oh, I don't need 100% to do Palmer Squares well.
Right.
Like we could be doing even better and doing more, but like no, what else can we do with our time?
Right.
We can do even more than release these projects. So I hope we like find a way. It's just a time management thing, really.
Right.
Not a like when do we have to put the nail in the coffin of our music careers.
Right.
But like why not do even more? Because we'll put out a project, once a year, maybe if that. But there's like I just think there's other stuff we could do, and I guess we sort of did starting our podcast a few years ago. That was something like. It's something we can do more often, and it's something fun, and we get to express ourselves differently. And I think there's even more outlets for us to do that. I don't know what they are yet. They might be like comedically, cinematically, maybe non-hip-hop music, something else. But I grew up playing drums. Term can sing, plays guitar. I feel like there's like a way for us to self-produce some more music in the future, make a different sound, or just jam more. We could start fucking covering Alice in Chains songs for fun.
I was gonna say, so
we
you're
could do
gonna
anything.
you're gonna take the MGK route.
Yeah, for sure. Girl, don't act like you ain't saw me.
I'm a huge pop punk fan, and like,
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just
like?
it's all nostalgia. I don't listen to any of the newer stuff, but like, it's almost it is embarrassing. It is, but
MGK.
I'm like,
now the pop punk thing. I can like. There's stuff I could probably find more. I listened to that shit when I sort of like stopped.
Yeah, I was like 10
just
or 12. Yeah,
right. Like I didn't care. I still play with fucking finger skateboards, so I don't grow out of everything. But there's some stuff I'm not as into anymore. But like, so pop punk is whatever. If that's your thing, that's your thing.
Right.
What bothers me and us, I think, about MGK is like, he just seemingly did this like. Left turn, like overnight. What the fuck?
Almost like the most successful rapper of all time, like bodied him.
Right,
definitely got bodied,
and he went to a whole new genre.
Yeah, it's a weird coincidence.
It's almost like I know Post Malone caught shit back in the day too because of like him going from like more whatever rap, hip hop, something, and then kind of speaking down on rap and rap shows and rap fans, and then getting more rock. And I'm not even trying to hate on him as much as I'll do it to MGK, but there's this thing of like I can see not a problem, but like I have questions. Something like who are you? What's the real fucking who do I believe? What do I believe about you when like you're so hardcore this one thing and then you become like I don't even know who that's the old me. And
all
now
emo.
What happened,
guitars,
dude? What happened? Yeah, did your parents die? Like something fucking happened because
something very traumatic.
Hey, all I know is he got Megan Fox out of the deal. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm not too upset.
Yeah, it's like to go from like hard rap lyrics and like I've heard old like early MGK stuff where he's like it's not bad. He's a skilled rapper.
Well, I think
and there's this like hard from the streets element to it to go from that to like my dad grounded me. I'm mad in the basement.
It's almost like disrespectful. I think
it's
at a certain point you can call it disrespectful to hip hop because you're using it's like it's easy. I'll use that to springboard into like this. It's easy to get clout there.
I think it's so once I get the clout. This is what you think rock music is,
but they don't. It's not people starting out with their pop punk ambitions when they should do it when they're fucking 16.
Right.
Mm-hmm. No, they're like it's easier to just pick up a mic and fucking rap on a beat and like it's almost like what are you exploiting like the hip hop fan community or like the simplicity compared to like when you put your band together and it's like there's something about it. Sometimes it's good to use something as like a springboard, but sometimes. You're not supposed to like leave it in the dust. Like I got what I needed from that culture. Fuck off.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think he can ever go back to hip hop. Like I don't think.
I hope he doesn't.
Well, like I don't think anybody would.
He was better at it. I like it. I saw him live hip hop show. I thought he was good.
Yeah.
I don't even like saying that.
Like noise pollution.
Yeah. You know,
better of two evils.
I guess I would prefer hear him make more rap music than have to see whatever he's doing now. Like,
I guess that's
persist.
Fair.
Facts.
But yeah, I started like having like what? Oh, I thought your whole identity was one thing, and now it's something else.
Right.
And I think both of them are phony. Like that's I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I guess.
Yeah,
seems
that's totally
weird.
fair.
That we're the squares. We know what the fuck we are,
right?
You know, and that's pretty much always. You're not going to see me with a trendy fucking wavy haircut tomorrow. Just like I don't even fuck with term. Hip hop is for the birds, and then just start making fucking a whole other career. It's like, you know, Like Bill Burr said about the Caitlyn Jenner thing. Like, give me a minute.
Right.
Like,
right.
we're all supposed to just like, oh yeah, now I get it. That's you now.
Right.
It's like he just Caitlyn Jennered himself, MGK. Where I'm just like, who the fuck are you? I don't know.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I saw you live last year, and that wasn't you.
Right. But yeah, we appreciate you guys coming by.
Yeah, man.
Thanks
We're,
for having us.
we're
No
Thank
gonna,
you
problem.
guys having us. Yeah.
we're gonna finish this pay-per-view here, but
I love it's like, all right, we shout out MGK, got that in there, and
And
on that
cut.
note,
but yeah, plug all your stuff. I know you guys got a ton of stuff going on right now.
oh my goodness, we do have a show if you're in Texas, Austin on November 12th, and then Andy's in Denton on November 13th. So we'll be there.
Yes.
But we also, just go to palmersquares.com. Lots of stuff there. We did just release the Kazamdemic EP.
Kazamdemic streaming now.
Stream it up, and if you want to, it's only $3 if you want to purchase it. So that helps too. We got some. I think we're gonna get some more merchandise after this road stuff is done because we're out of the shirts and we need
Stopped
some new
at
stuff for the holidays.
Stopped at a gas station on the way here. I bought some English toffee.
Yeah.
It's like $7.
Oof.
Okay, so if I can
So he's
afford
balling. He's
$7
bragging.
English
Right.
toffee,
He's bragging.
you can afford a $3 EP
Right.
at our band
Right.
camp.
I bought this
Hit it up.
vanilla cream, vanilla
Bet
bean.
you that was more than $3.
It was $5.50. I paid with the 10. I threw all the change in the fucking tip jar.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude, balling.
Bowling.
Yeah.
All right, actually, we're gonna have to talk about that. I don't approve of that.
All right, but yeah, thank you guys for coming on. We appreciate it.
No problem, y'all.
Have a good night, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Peace.
Till next week.
Peace.
That's what I'm talking about.